I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
This is the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with Vincent Polisi. Buckle your seatbelt and prepare to learn how to legally make six figures investing in real estate with no money, no credit check, and nothing but a computer and internet connection. Learn how you too can begin generating buyers and sellers for free today. And why you're only 2 calls away from making a $10,000 or more payday while never leaving the comfort of your home. And now, your host, the virtual real estate investor, Vincent Polisi.
Let's go. All right, guys, here we go. What you're about to hear is what I call the difference between the old bull and the young bull. And basically what you have here is a deal, an actual deal by an investor in San Antonio, Texas, that has stalled and completely stopped moving forward. The appraisal has been postponed. The inspection has been postponed. There is a potential $60,000 payday coming April 15th. But when I got this call, it was no longer coming because everything had been stopped. Why had everything been stopped? Everything had been stopped because on the title, there was a little hiccup from the HOA. There was a bylaw violation of the architectural guidelines, and the HOA was trying to stop the closing and force the investor to make the architectural changes of paint, because there was a paint mismatch with an addition, and new shingles or new roofs because there was a shingle mismatch theoretically between the house and an addition that was done. And so unfortunately, he's got his money buried in a bunch of other deals and wasn't liquid to the point that he could come out of pocket for what the expectation was prior to closing. Buyer finds out from the title company. This is why I always tell you guys, to tell the title companies never to talk to your people. You always be the front person so that you can control the conversation. And then, as usual, title girl basically, had went out of her way to try to kill the deal, whether she was intentional or not. That's what ends up happening, because they're not there to handle anything or to explain how to handle anything or to provide the solution. It's just, okay, we've been told this and that's it. And, you basically throw them to the wolves. So I heard what the problem was and instantly knew exactly how to handle it. I explained that to the investor, and you're going to get to hear the call. I had him go ahead and get the buyers on the phone. You'll hear that call also, and you'll hear the deal then that has been stalled now for 3 days that was not going to close now start moving forward again. And since the time of the hang up on this call here, through a couple of other directions, the investor now has it in writing from the HOA that they will do exactly what I said to do in this phone call. Okay, this is real world stuff, about as real as it gets. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to run into when you're doing, a conventional deal where you're closing at a title company or attorney. You got to know this stuff and how to handle these things, so these types of hiccups don't delay or kill your deal like they were about to in this situation. So, without further ado, I'm going to let you take a listen to the call.
And now, without further delay, it's unquestionably everyone's favorite segment of the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with Vincent Polisi. It's time for an extra-large dose of total transparency. As you listen to Vincent live and in the trenches, dodging bullets
you get a property in the contract, the property contract, the guy's closing in 2 weeks. Obviously, he's not getting an FHA loan done in 2 weeks. Was that?
Well, no. I've talked to the lender. He's pre-approved. Before even getting it under contract, Cascade, which I'm sure you're familiar with Cascade because they do mobile manufactured homes. I let them know of the time frame. They said they were fine. They were good to go. I mean, there was reason to believe that it will be closing, not in 2 weeks, the second week of April. So it's probably 3 weeks.
Okay.
Contracted a week ago.
So you're okay, and that'll cover the $7,000 deficiency, right? You're not upside down, right?
No. There's a tremendous profit margin. I don't know if you did the math. I mean, we're talking about he went ahead and submitted 150,000. I was asking 170. So, if everything just close on time the way it should be, then we're potentially talking about the $60,000 payday, which I'm very happy with. I mean, that's what I had estimated.
Yeah.
But it's the what ifs. It's the you have no control of time. It's the what if things get slowed down? What if fax machines don't work? What if things happen down the line? The scheduled closing time, I believe, is the 15th of April. Well, the foreclosure is scheduled for the 4th of May.
Oh, all right, so it's real simple. I mean, there's a couple different angles that you can go down. It doesn't make the closing date, okay? Then you've got you can force more cash at that point. You can go to him.
When you say force more cash, what do you mean?
Well, okay. I mean, if you understand how contract law works, right? So you've got a closing date that's set. If he doesn't make the closing date, he's in breach. So he automatically forfeits the $2,000. And if he wants to extend out at that point, I mean, you could be a nice guy and extend it out for nothing, but I'm just talking about from a standpoint of trying to hold the thing together. If he doesn't make the 15th or what day it is, then, he's in breach. The $1,000 gets forfeited. And if he wants to maintain the deal, then he can be forced to pony up more cash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you something. You seem to be very knowledgeable on contracts. The home is in an HOA, and we already requested HOA documents.
Okay.
And under the documents, they put a note under Section I that said that the home was in violation of a bylaw, which I think it's retarded. The comment that they said was that there's an addition to the home that was allowed. It was permitted. There's a permit for it, but that the roof does not match the original roof of the original construction. Now, the addition was done 8 years ago. Now, because of that, they're not. What's the word? They're not not allowing the transfer. What the guy is saying is, if this is an issue and we have to change the roof later on down the line, I don't know if I want this deal or not. So if he backs out, does he get his earnest money because of that situation that just popped up?
No. I mean, unless it's number one, is it stopping closing? At this point, as far as I know, it's not stopping closing. Okay, and you're not being fined by the HOA for the
correct
architectural problem or whatever it's called. Okay, then no. I mean, that's I assume that the property was sold as is with seller disclosure. I mean, there it is. There's no defect in the title, and it's a simple. We're talking about a cosmetic issue of what color of shingles or something.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't even know where the hell the HOA gets that from. I've already requested for 3 days to give me the exact issue and how to fix it, because the roof was installed about 8 years ago because there was a hailstorm, and the same company installed the same shingles over both parts, the addition and the original construction. I have no idea what they're talking about when they put that violation that the shingles of the addition don't match the shingles of the original construction. You take an aerial photography, you look at Google, you look at anything, and they look great. Same design, facing the same way. They were installed the same year.
Yeah. No. That's not a reason not to close. I mean, it has nothing. There's nothing structural wrong, and they're not stopping the closing. They're saying you have a bylaw violation.
Yes,
which can be rectified with shingles. It sounds like.
Correct.
Okay. So it's the addition, so it's not that bad. Throw a couple $100 at it or whatever. You could easily put that in. That if somebody tries to balk based off of that out of seller's proceeds, and the title company can hold on to $2-3 grand, whatever.
Let me ask you something. Does it slow things down, or how does the lender would view it? If at this point they were to increase the offer and get cash back, because I think that's what the guy really wants.
They can't get cash back on a purchase legally.
Oh, okay. So obviously, if the price gets increased, Cascade is going to want to know, why are you increasing your offer?
Yeah, of course, exactly. And I wouldn't even mess with that. If he's already pre-approved, you've already got a scheduled closing date. I guess my question is, the appraisal and everything has all been done, title's in?
He went ahead and stopped the appraisal and the inspector until, quote unquote, we resolve this. Resolve
what?
Exactly. I said, tell me exactly what you want me to resolve. I don't get any word from the HOA. They're not stopping the sale.
Right.
And I think what he wants is he wants cash back. And I'm like, listen, you came with an HOA.
It's illegal. You can't do it. You can't. No. It's an inducement to buy. Absolutely not. You don't even get involved in an FHA federally insured loan. They find out that you're inducing the guy to buy and you're doing kickbacks and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you can do seller concessions. Okay. So like what you can do, and it depends on I don't know what for manufacturer for whatever the home package or whatever the hell they're calling it now.
Well, we're already paying 6% of closing costs.
Okay. Well, you're maxed out then. You're not going to be able to do any more than that. I mean, that's Fannie, Freddie, FHA, Max. It's 6%. You're already covering everything for him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, you can do and I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you not to do this. But this is what people do in these situations. Is they'll do the handshake, wink, wink agreement, blah blah blah, outside of closing kind of thing, or they'll do all kinds of. I've seen all kinds of fraud, man. They'll do buy something from the guy and way overpay for it so he gets the cash he's looking for and all. There's all kinds of and you don't want any part of that. You don't need any paper trail, whatever it is. You're here to sell a house. You want, number one, what do you mean he stopped the appraisal and the inspection?
What was that? You were cutting off.
You said he stopped the appraisal and the inspection.
Yes.
Okay. And that's not good, man. That's not good. I mean,
no.
That's not good. So let me tell you, I mean, again, on the joint venture side, I would jump on the phone with the guy and drop the hammer on him and say, okay, look, what's the problem? The HOA thing is not causing any issue with not closing. Okay. We're acting in good faith. If the architectural thing, if you can figure out exactly what the hell it is that you're supposed to do, and you've got a $60,000 spread, you can afford to throw $3,000 at it, max, to have escrow by the title company that some roofer will go out after closing, and the title company will fund the roofer once he brings in the stuff and the bylaw is cleared, right? Or whatever the violation is signed off on by the HOA. And you can get that all handled that way. And that's the way. If that's the hiccup, I mean, it's just an addendum to the contract at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But you got to have a conversation with the guy. Say, look, here's the bottom line. There's nothing. I haven't seen your contract, obviously, but I assume it's a standard purchase.
It's a standard track. Yeah, 1 to 4.
Okay. Okay. So if that's the case,
we're closing a title. I mean, it's a normal transaction.
Yeah. So there's nothing. You're not in violation of anything. You're providing clear and marketable title that can close. Correct.
Correct.
Okay. So if that's the case, I don't know if there's any other legal outs he's got.
Well, I think my biggest issue, and it's probably just a matter of part of my French, but fucking pride, is that, and I gotta swallow it, but it just pisses me off, is that you and I will know that when inspection goes through, there's going to be 110 different little things that are going to be found.
That's what they're there for.
That's what an inspector's job is for. So it's almost like they get paid on a per default that they find.
Don't worry about it, man. You got $60,000 spread. If you come off 10, you'll make 50, and you're golden. Okay, I mean, this is where you gotta listen. Let me tell you this, okay? And this goes to the old bull, young bull thing, right? I'm gonna tell you the true story. When I was a top guy, selling mobile homes, right, making my hand over fist, whatever. In my 20s, I'm on top of the world. I know everything. And I was, bitching to my mom about this one customer and blah, blah, blah. Like, this guy's telling me this and he's wrong and I'm right. And he's telling me that I'm wrong. And I'm like, well, shit. And here's the facts that I'm going to prove I'm right. And she looks at me and she's like, my advice. I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. Right. I'm like, no, I not really, but I know you're going to say it anyway. So go ahead and spit it out. Right. And she's like, I said, I have one question for you. Do you want to be right or do you want to make money?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm telling you, man, I was like, God damn it, I am right, but I want to make money too, right? But I had to do the exact same thing. I'm like, okay. And so what I did was I sucked. I humbled myself. I made nice with the guy who, he was a whatever. And it was more of an ego and a pride thing than it was anything else. There was nothing in the deal that it was being messed. It was an ego and a pride thing. I just, I'm 27, but I guess 26, 27. Like, who the hell does this guy think he is trying to tell me this, blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I just sucked it up. I didn't do anything, that was like, I didn't have to denigrate any of my values or my integrity or anything like that. I had to be a professional and say, okay. And, made nice with the guy. We closed out happy as hell, and I made the money, and we went on down the road. And sometimes it's what you got to do.
It's just what really pisses me off, Vince, is that I had a conversation with him. And I said, a first-time home buyer, thankfully he's not represented by a realtor, which actually really helps.
Yeah, sure.
And I said, well, there's kind of two routes that you can take.
He's going to be bringing somebody else in, so he's listening to somebody else.
And so I said, there's kind of two routes that you can take. Either you can kind of go the route of make a full price offer, and you'll get all the bells and whistles and whatever little things you want us to do. We'll negotiate them and we'll do them and we'll make it happen and things will go. Or you can kind of just go for the jugular and make a really low offer, and if we accept it, it'll be with no discounts, contingencies, further negotiations, nothing. And just kind of be aware that there's always issues, especially with a home that's not new. It's 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I said, so just before you make the offer, because I generally play the role of the middleman to not be too aggressive, which is partially true. I've got investors behind me, admittingly, friends and family, but I got investors behind me, and I kind of act like the middleman, whether their offer will be approved or not. And I said, so just before you make an offer, just kind of realize, which of the two do you prefer? I don't know your style. I don't know your personality. I don't know what you are. So the sale price that we had it at was $179. So he came in at $150,000, and I'm like, wow, $30,000. That's an energetic. That's a big. That's an aggressive offer. If you're willing to do this, and if you want me to submit it, just realize that it's no further discounts, negotiations, concessions, or anything. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. We're good with that. I have that in writing. I said, okay, let's go ahead and submit the offer that way. And, of course, the offer was accepted. I went ahead and congratulated him and started moving forward. And then this stupid thing with the HOA comes.
When did this happen? When did that happen?
When did what happen with the HOA?
Yeah. And with him telling you stopping moving forward on the appraisal and title, or appraisal and
that happened 3 days ago.
Okay, at that point, what was there has to be some resolution. There has to be, okay, we're moving forward again.
His resolution is that he believes a roof replacement will cost $8,000, and he wants us to somehow pay the $8,000, change the roof before closing, or give him $8,000 at closing in case this happens in the future.
Fine. Okay, get him on the phone. I can handle that. Get him on the phone. That's no problem. We'll do that. We'll absolutely do that. Absolutely.
How are you going to do it?
I just told you how I'm going to do it. It's not. This is not, dude. This is okay. Take this the right way. I'm not trying to be condescending, but this is 25 years of experience versus whatever you've got. All right. It's very simple. Say, listen, if there's a concern about roof based on the bylaws, okay, we cannot provide you. It's illegal. Okay, there cannot be any cash back to you. Okay, FHA is not going to allow that. Company's not going to allow that. That's not the way it's done. What we can do, however, is we can take, and if the roof is a concern, is he saying that the whole roof on the entire structure has to come off and be replaced?
No. He's saying that I don't know how it'll be fixed by the HOA. What really pisses me off is the HOA because they haven't given me a response. In other words, if the HOA were to say, oh, yeah, the whole roof needs to come off, well, then you can put a dollar amount to that.
Right.
I mean, if the HOA says, no, we looked at it the wrong way and we apologize and we're good to go, well, then there's your answer.
It's simple, man.
This is
real simple. I know. This is real simple. This is real simple to fix this. Okay. Very simple. I'm going to try to tell you, man. This is like 25 years of experience versus wherever you're at in your career at this point. 2. Okay. Well, there's the difference. There's the difference. Okay. It's very simple. All you got to do is you have to get on the phone with Guy and say, look, here's the deal. If we're going to go ahead and get it in writing from the HOA as to exactly what has to happen. I mean, obviously, if the guy can squeeze you for a new roof, he's going to squeeze you for a new roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether the HOA requires it or not, that's what he's looking for. So he's trying to squeeze you for something, right? And you still don't have the inspection, so you don't know what else is coming.
Correct. And that's really what concerns me and pisses me off. We were very specific and said no further negotiations, discounts, or concessions. What do you think is going to happen with the inspection? Ton of crap comes up. So then what? He's going to renegotiate that? He wants me to give him a discount. And honestly, I think he'd be happy because he threw out the number of $3,500, splitting it down the middle. Him getting 30, but the problem is he wants $3,500 in cash. That's, I think, the biggest challenge. In other words, if I were to tell him, fine, we'll give you a $3,500 discount.
Yeah, it's not cash to him, but it would be but see, then once again, though, this is all pre-inspection, so you don't know what other whack-a-mole games we're playing with that.
And that's what I want to get him to do. It's like, listen, let's just go through the inspection. Let's go through the appraisal. Let's find out the whole the whole ball of wax of what could possibly go wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Can you get him on the phone?
I can ask. Yeah, I can see where he's at.
Yeah.
How do you want me to introduce you?
Your partner. Your investor, whatever you want. Okay, you're gonna get a freebie, dude. Okay, I don't do this except unless I don't ever get on the phone unless I get paid in advance. All right, so
I know, I appreciate it.
This is easy to fix.
Okay, let me give him a call and let me see if I can schedule a three-way.
No, schedule a three-way. Okay, listen, dude.
Okay.
We ramrod. Okay, we take action. We get stuff done right now. Get him on the phone right now. I'm on the phone. We can merge him in, and let's get it done right now.
Okay. Let me call him up. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Is this Centel?
Hey, Dan.
Hey. Good morning. How are you doing, Centel?
Good.
Good. I thought I'd reach out to you this morning. I don't know if you got a minute right now, but I kind of want to talk about the situation with the HOA. We haven't gotten a response back from them. I still don't know exactly what they mean when they talk about some sort of violation or how to fix it, which that's really my biggest concern. If I knew how to fix it, well then we could maybe put a dollar amount to it, and then we can kind of go from there. But anyways, I do have on the line one of my senior investing partners. His name is Vincent. He's on the line right now. I think I merged the call correctly. Are you there, Vincent?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep, I'm here.
He's a little sketchy on the phone. I kind of wanted to touch base with you on how we can best resolve the situation. So I thought maybe if you kind of heard with him, we can kind of come up with a solution.
Did we catch you at a good time?
1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the other line with my wife. Let me see if I can merge her in real quick because she's
perfect.
She's doing a lot of legwork with this thing. Give me 1 second.
Not a problem. Dan, check your messenger.
Okay. Do you want to go with me out there?
Hello?
Yes.
Dan? Okay. I have her on the line.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? My name is Vincent. I think Dan's still with us here too, I believe.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right. So Dan just gave me the rundown on exactly where you are in this process, and I've dealt with stuff like this for the last 25 years. So it's not as probably complex or sinister as what you may be thinking. So let me just kind of walk you through the process on how to get this thing resolved to everybody's satisfaction, so that you guys can all continue moving forward and everybody can get exactly what they're looking for. So from what I understand presently, there's a hiccup on something that the HOA came back with as far as the bylaws based on it's called an architectural standard. And I guess there's a mismatch or something on the shingles based on the addition to the property. Is that what your understanding is?
That and the paint, yes.
The paint of what?
Yeah, the addition is the addition is a different color than the main house. So it's those two things.
Okay, gotcha.
It's violation.
All right, so it's in violation, but they're not stopping the closing, and there are no fines being assessed presently. Is that correct, Dan?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. And has there been any threat of a fine? Has there been any, term limit of, hey, if you don't get this rectified?
No, not at all. No, not at all.
Nothing. Just, hey, here's a situation that doesn't match, and you don't even have to fix it. We're just letting you know. Correct. Okay. All right.
Well, hold on one second. Now,
sure.
When I spoke to the lady at the HOA, she was very clear that it will have to be fixed, or else
I believe it. I believe that. I'm with you. I believe that. So that's what I'm here to help get rectified now. All right. So tell me this accurate also. You had an appraisal and an inspection scheduled, but you have canceled those or postponed those or something. Is that accurate?
Yes, postponed.
Okay. And the reason for that was what? You were concerned about the situation with the HOA?
So the conversation that I had with the lady from the HOA, she made it clear that once we close on the house, that violation now becomes our violation. And
of course.
And then we'd have to fix it or face the legal side of it's a fine. Yeah, it's a fine is what they'll hit you with. Well, she said that with them and in the Savannah Heights, they don't fine for that type of thing. They let you know. They will give you a certain amount of time to fix it, and if it's not fixed, instead of fining you, they simply refer you to the HOA's attorney to start the legal process. Now, when they turn us over to the attorney, there is an administrative fee for, I guess, having to turn you over to the attorney, and then there's attorney fee. Right. But those aren't quote unquote fines, but you'll have to pay it.
Same thing though. Yeah, exactly. It's still money that they want you to pay out of pocket, or they try to lien the property. So it's the same thing.
There you go.
You can call it a fine, fee, whatever. It's money out of your pocket, forced, against your will. So any way you want to look at it, it's the same thing. Okay, so if that's the case, then, but they're not stopping a closing. They're still clear and marketable title. Just we got this hiccup with the architectural guideline, which is easy to rectify. So here is how to handle that very, very quickly. Because you're on a tight timeline here, I guess you've got about 2 weeks left before the closing date, roughly.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to have to put a full court press on getting the appraisal and the inspection in, because there may be other things that come out of those two documents that have to be addressed, prior to closing, based on what FHA guidelines are. If you're going to understand your own FHA, HUD has their own specific guidelines as it relates to these things. The FHA appraisal, I'm surprised that there's an actual separate inspection, because the FHA appraisal itself is a combination of an appraisal and an inspection, and the property has to match HUD guidelines for safety. The appraisers actually go out, they're checking the electrical, and they're checking the plumbing, and they're checking to make sure that if there's any kind of steps, that there's railings, and there's all the safety features, and otherwise HUD won't fund the loan or insure the loan, so to speak. So is somebody else requiring the inspection, or is that something that you elected to do separately over and above the appraisal?
So the way they explained it to me is those are two separate things. you get different things inspected from the appraisal standpoint and from the standpoint.
Yeah, yes and no. The appraisal inspection is going to be basically functionality, utility, and safety. Okay. Now they're not going to go into, like, I'll give you an example. I built a house in Alfred, Georgia, and I paid it was like $600 for the inspection. And I'm glad I did, even though it was new construction and there shouldn't have been anything wrong. They found unshielded electrical wire stuffed in the insulation in between walls where the drywallers had come in before the electricians were finished, and they put drywall up. Meanwhile, I got live wires behind the wall, and so one power surge and the whole house is coming down. I was very thankful for that process. If that makes any sense. And I always advise people, if you're going to do this, it's always a good idea to do it. The inspection process is not going to be as sort of vanilla as the appraisal standpoint, because he's going to go through everything. I mean, top to bottom, upside down. Part of the issue with the inspections that you get is, like I had new construction. I got 60 some odd pages of stuff, okay, back that, this is a $700,000 house. It was all new construction. Pardon me. And I had to I kind of had to sift through it. I'm like, okay, what are the real issues here? Like what's really a problem based on what we're looking at out of these 60 some odd pages? Because they're being paid basically to find stuff, and if they don't find stuff, it doesn't look like they've done their job and all that. So you have to sort of understand kind of what you're dealing with. If I could have 60 pages on new construction, you can imagine what a standard retail would typically have. Where we're at right now, those two processes, I mean, if your intent is to close, those two processes have to start moving forward, as quickly as humanly possible, because the underwriters are going to have to take time to underwrite the appraisal and make sure that everything is satisfactory. They don't care about the inspection, because anything they're going to pull from the appraisal itself. The inspection is really more for your peace of mind. As it relates to the architectural thing with the HOA, the way that can be handled right now without stopping the process going forward is that an addendum can be executed right now with basically a buffer amount that's built in that will come out of Dan's proceeds at closing. In other words, he won't get the cash. The title company will hold it based off of the repair work, or whatever we're calling this. I guess it's not really repairs. It's just changing out the colors to either replace the shingles on the roof so that they're matching and HOA is happy, and or spray the house to matching color, so that you can then get the sign off from the HOA without having that issue. So it can all be taken care of. It's not going to be taken care of in obviously in the next weeks, but the proceeds can be withheld and then distributed or dispersed by the title company once they have the work done, and then they get the situation. They actually get the documentation from the HOA so that there's no potential issue. Does that make sense?
I think so. So,
okay.
And have you done this? Have you done something like that before?
Well, many times.
Okay. So can you explain to me how that works with a title company? So let's say $5,000, just round number.
Okay.
That'll be held out of the proceeds.
That'll be money. Company. Correct. That'll be money that Dan does not get, and it'll reflect on what's called the HUD-1 settlement statement, which is your balance sheet at closing that shows where all the dollars in the deal are going. So they'll hold back and not let him have that $5,000. Okay. The subcontractors will go out there and do the work. That work will then be inspected for satisfaction. Okay. In other words, they're not getting paid if it doesn't match whatever the HOA is looking for. Once it's signed off by the HOA, the subcontractors get paid. Okay. And the funds of the $5,000 then end up getting dispersed out. If it's $5,000, we get quotes. We'll have quotes before closing, so we'll know exactly what we're working with. But the key thing at this point is if you've only got 2 weeks left to close, you've got to get the appraisal and inspection
moving forward as soon as possible. So my recommendation would be, if this is the house that you want, obviously it is, you've already contracted on it, you've got money down, then Dan needs to get you the addendum to the agreement today and then get them to the title company, and that would then become a part of the transaction so that those funds are basically like you got a credit card sitting there to pay for the improvements. Okay, this money he doesn't get, but it doesn't stop us from closing, and that way you've got the protection that you don't have to worry about some issue with the HOA on the back, because nobody wants you to get fined, obviously, if that makes sense. There's no design on you getting fined or having to do any type of litigation or harassment or them trying to foreclose based on the HOA, because if they're telling you they don't even fine you, I think it's the attorney. The attorney would be the one sending you the fine stuff, not them. But then they file a lien, and you don't have time for all that. So let's just get it fixed.
Okay. So that means the title company becomes involved. They're the ones who will disperse the funds.
Correct.
Or do they release them to you or release them to me? Or
They'll pay the subcontractors directly.
And who will inspect the work? The HOA?
Well, I guess technically you would be, but really the only person that matters, or the only entity that matters, is the HOA, because that's the one that can cause you harm.
Okay. Hold on.
They're the ones that are creating the issue, so that's the one that needs to sign off.
You okay? Yeah, I'm good. The wreck's on the way. Okay. I just saw the wreck, and I didn't see anybody over here. Okay. All right. Thanks. Man, that was a scary little bill. I'm sorry. I just pulled up on the wreck. There's no police, and the guy was sitting there in the driver's side with his head down.
Uh-oh.
But he says he's okay. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. So we can get everything. We can get everything rectified with one document that spells out. It's called an addendum to the contract. It becomes part of the contract.
Gotcha.
Dan can get that drafted and executed today, get it to you for signature, and then it goes to the title company. And that way you've already got built in the funds that are going to be required to make the HOA happy.
Okay. Crystal, do you have any questions? Crystal? Did I lose my wife? I don't know what happened.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm clear.
Okay. All right. So what do you think? Or do you need to talk about it?
No, I think I did want to talk to you, but I think as far as how it can be taken care of, I think I'm good with that.
Okay. So I don't see a problem with it either.
Okay.
So if we can get that paperwork today, then we'll get a call in to Cascade and so we'll go ahead with the
okay. He can have it here. Yeah, he can have it here to you in less than 30 minutes, so that we can get the process moving forward, and that way you've got the insurance, basically the insurance policy and get out of jail free card that you need to not have any issues after you close with the HOA.
Okay. So as soon as Dan, you think you can just email it? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, he can email it to you for signature. Just you need to execute it and then get it back to him. He'll execute it, get it to the title company so they can perfect the existing sales contract. And you guys are off to the races. You guys get a hold of Cascade, get them moving forward on the appraisal and inspection. And then, you're pushing forward through the underwriting process with your lender.
All right. So as soon as we get that email, then we'll sign it and get it back to Dan, and then we'll get on the Cascade.
Yeah, it's not complex. It's not going to be real elaborate. It's basically a one-page addendum that's going to have probably two or three sentences, and that's about it, explaining what I just said.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you picked a great house, that's for sure. Sorry that this hiccup came up, but like I said, Dan can get that rectified and to your satisfaction, the HOA's satisfaction, and make you happy homeowners here in Phoenix.
All right, I like it.
Thank you.
You have a full day. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for the time. You guys have a good one.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that was good. Now my question is, how much is it going to be? Because he had thrown at me 3,500, and now he put through 5,000.
Just give him what he wants, man. Just give him what he wants.
Okay.
If you're sitting on 60, don't split. This is like, the Bible says, straining at gnats and swallowing camels. Right?
Yeah.
Don't strain at gnats.
I agree.
$1,500. You're gonna split hairs over $1,500 when you can pick up 50, 55.
Yeah. So. No. You're right. You're right 100% of the way. The other thing is, what happens? The money stays in escrow. Is there a limit to how long it stays in escrow?
That's really up to you and the title company. I mean, basically what happened is they should close, and the minute that they close, if it was me, what I would be doing is ramrodding that. It doesn't matter because you're not getting the money anyway, right?
Oh, there's no way I can get it at that point?
The $5,000?
Yes.
You would get you can have it set up so that you get dispersed any
excess amount?
Any unused amount. Okay? So let me tell you what I would do. This is what you need to do right now. Okay. First, you need to draft the addendum. Okay.
What does that addendum look like?
Oh, no, for the love of God.
When you said 30 minutes, I was like, oh wow, I'm impressed.
So it's not God, Bus. They don't teach you guys anything.
Where do we learn this? There is no real estate school.
Oh my God. Okay, it's a simple one-page addendum, and it's basically to state. I mean, I didn't get involved in this to have to do all of your deal for you, but it's basically going to state, it'd be addendum A or addendum B. I don't know how many addendums you have to the contract, but it's addendum A, and you'll put on there, due to HOA bylaw, blah, 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 whatever the comp case, whatever the crap is, that buyer and seller agreed that $5,000 of seller's proceeds will be held in escrow by the title company after closing, pending disbursement to subcontractors for the
pending.
Whatever we're calling it. It's not a repair. It's the to pending work to on and then specify what it is. Paint and shingle work to satisfy
to correct those two violations.
Right. The architectural guidelines by the HOA. Blah blah blah. Funds will not be dispersed without HOA signing off on the work that's done, stating that it's in compliance with the architectural guidelines, and then any funds will be dispersed to Dan, within 2 weeks of work being completed, or 7 days of work being completed in satisfactory HOA, whatever, letter.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I was trying to write it all down.
You can draft it and send it to me, and I'll take a look at it for you. Okay. But it's basically everything I just said. You just need to spell it out in black and white. One page, 2-3 paragraphs max. Signatory lines on the bottom for both of you. And
what was that again? You were cutting off at the bottom.
Okay. Signatory. You have to put signatory lines.
Yes.
Buyer, seller, blah blah blah. Sign it, and then get it over to him. Let him execute it. Let him get it back to you. You sign it. Get it to the title company, and follow up with them. Say, hey, okay, the contract's with the title company. Let's get going with Cascade, and then your deal's back in.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, we'll do that. Should I give him a call back on an amount? Or just
no, just do right now. Just do 5,000. Okay, let me tell you what's going to happen.
Okay.
This is if you listen to me, this is the way you should do it. This is what I would do: is put the 5,000 in there right now. So if we can,
but he feels good.
If you can get it, yeah. So do what you said you're going to do, It was his number, not yours. Okay. I thought he was coming in at 8, but he came at 5. So we were $3,000 to the good, right? I mean, what does it take? I don't know how much it costs to spray a house. They're going to come out there and if they spray the house, what, $500, $1,000, $2,000? Okay. I don't know what it costs. Okay. So $1,000 to spray the house. Shingle work is it going to be $4,000? I mean, they could replace the whole damn roof at that point, couldn't they?
Yeah, probably.
Roughly. I mean, it's just shingles. We're not talking about they have to go back through.
3,100 square feet. 3,100 square feet the home.
Yeah, okay.
So probably closer
so
to
maybe
the full roof replacement.
Yeah, maybe more than that then. All right, and then so addendum first, get that done, executed, get the appraisal and title stuff moving, or appraisal and inspection stuff moving forward ASAP, and then get your ass on the phone with a painter and a roofer, and get them out there to give you an estimate. Okay.
Gotcha.
You listening? Okay, so that way you know. Exactly.
I'm listening. I'm taking notes. Yeah.
Okay, so you know exactly what the hard numbers are, and you're done.
Okay.
And here comes $55,000 payday, or $52,000 payday, or whatever it ends up being based on the numbers they give you.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you have if you have to go back up, well, like I said, man, don't split hairs over a couple grand when you're looking at a $50,000 payday.
Yeah. Especially when it's in freaking foreclosure.
Yeah, you think?
You think? If it's all right with you, Vincent, I will fly to wherever you're at and buy you dinner. And a good bottle of wine. I've read the thread. You like wine.
Oh yeah, it better be one hell of a bottle of wine for $50,000, man.
How about an 1885, 86? That somewhere goes very good.
Yeah, we'll have to get down to Burns Steakhouse and raid the wine cellar.
Man, I really do appreciate it. I'll go ahead. Will you text me your email address? I don't think I have it. And I'll get you the addendum in the next 15, 20 minutes.
Yep. 10-4.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Vincent.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with Vincent Polisi. If you found any value in this podcast, please use our Give to Get method and take a moment to give us a 5-star rating in iTunes and your favorite podcast service so we can keep giving you excellent episodes of real content you can use to profit today.